but making the person feel understood and letting them know that you're receiving feedback in all formats, whether it's someone that brings it up in a call, someone that sends something through an email, through Slack message, whatever it might be. You have to demonstrate that you will be receptive to feedback in front of
Mhm.
an audience so that you're not discouraging people from like actually giving you feedback. I feel like a lot of people want feedback, but they don't take it that well, especially leaders, and it's really hard. I'm not perfect about
Mm.
it, but if you don't take feedback well in front of your team, you're training everyone not to bring feedback to you.
So you said three things there that I just want to double down that I really, really liked. So first off, you talked about the partnership that you need to have with your reps. And I think that is such an important one of saying, hey, this is what I believe or my hypothesis is the way to go about this or the right answer. But y'all are on the front lines every single day. Challenge me, push back, tell us what's actually working. And then it creates a less of like a hierarchical, me just pushing down. It's like, hey, we're all in this sort of thing together. And that's not done easily, and it's not done in one meeting. That's done consistently over and over again. It's like almost the energetic with which you're coming from. The format piece that you said, the why, what, how is incredible. What I love the most that you said about though, is then you adapt it for yourself. Because so often it's like if somebody says something, like I still remember this, and you could mention Mark Costco, so like our third time talking about him, but I remember he got me so jazzed up one time when I was an account executive at Outreach before a call to like go in and say this talk track to the CFO of getting the deal done. And Mark Costco is a very passionate guy. And so he
Yep.
just got me hyped for it. And I was like, man, I'm about to go in, I'm gonna crush this thing. Like I'm gonna sound exactly like Mark. And I went in and I got knocked flat in the face. We lost the deal. They went to a
Oh
competitor
no.
because it sounded good coming from Mark, did not sound good coming from Alex. And so it's really about like, hey, here's the frame. Try it on though. Make sure the jersey fits on you. And then the reinforcement piece of the frontline leaders. And I just think like that, those three nuggets right there, the partnership, the format, and the reinforcement, that's a formula right there that you're at least putting your best foot forward of actually getting the change in behavior to occur.
Yep. One more little insight on partnership is how you receive feedback as a leader. This is one thing I do in my company a lot is we ask for feedback a lot. There's a lot of opportunities for people to give feedback, but most importantly, when I'm given feedback, I take it really well. So even if you don't agree with the feedback, this is just good advice for any person in a leadership position. You always want to articulate back what the feedback is so that the person feels understood. So if you gave me feedback on, you said, hey, I think the activity metrics are a little bit unreasonable. It's really hard for me to squeeze this in. I don't know, just throwing out an example. I might say, hey, Alex, so what I'm hearing is that the activity metrics from your perspective, it feels kind of tough to hit those activity metrics. And you're wondering why we have them when really the goal is to get those meetings set that you want. Do you feel like I have a good understanding of what your feedback is here and where you're coming from? Yeah, cool. And then I can agree or disagree with it. But making the person feel understood and letting them know that you're receiving feedback in all formats, whether it's someone that brings it up in a call, someone that sends something through an email, through Slack message, whatever it might be, you have to demonstrate that you will be receptive to feedback in front of an
Mhm.
audience so that you're not discouraging people from like actually giving you feedback. I feel like a lot of people want feedback, but they don't take it that well, especially leaders, and it's really hard. I'm not perfect about
Mm.
it, but if you don't take feedback well in front of your team, you're training everyone not to bring feedback to you. And you do not want to be
Yep.
running a team where people feel too afraid to tell you what's really on their mind. You don't want that environment on your sales work.
I remember listening to a podcast that someone was interviewing Barack Obama, actually, and it was way
Mm,
back in early 2018, something like that. And they asked Barack Obama, how are you such a good debater? I didn't know he was a good debater, but I guess he is. And he said exactly what you said is like when somebody gives an opposing perspective to you, you say, I could understand why you would think that or why you'd view it that way because of X, Y, and Z. And this is now how I see it, right? And then go into whatever your opposing perspective. And it's at least showing it's like, hey, I'm willing to at least put myself in your shoes and consider it from that lens. And that person feels heard and received, like, yeah, exactly. Now they look at it from their, that person says their perspective is like, cool, you've afforded me, the gratitude of seeing it from my point of view. Now let me do the exact same thing for you. So I love just like just repeating, the mirroring back to it right there.
Definitely. And he's definitely a good debater. You got to YouTube for those listening, like Barack Obama, like debating, like highlight clips. Like he's money, dude. He's so good.
He's got
very
some
funny,
zest.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He brings a good humor to it.